What if the most profitable plants in the world did not need a huge farm? What if some of them could be grown in a backyard, a small greenhouse, a spare room, a windowsill, or even a few trays on a shelf? Most people think farming needs hundreds of acres, expensive tractors, and a big commercial setup. But today, some small growers are making serious money by focusing on tiny, high-value plants. These plants are not ordinary crops. They are rare, premium, fast-growing, or easy to turn into expensive products. Welcome back to Off-Grid Roots, the channel where we explore profitable plants, forgotten growing skills, self-reliant living, and smart ways to build value from the land. Before we begin, subscribe to Off-Grid Roots if you want more videos about rare crops, homestead income, gardening ideas, and simple living. Today, we're looking at 8 tiny plants that can make serious money if they are grown, packaged, and sold the right way.
The first tiny plant is Saffron crocus. This small purple flower produces one of the most expensive spices in the world, saffron. At first glance, the plant does not look like a money crop. It is small, delicate, and only gives a tiny harvest from each flower. But inside each bloom are 3 red threads called stigmas, and those tiny threads are what become saffron. The reason saffron is so expensive is simple. It takes thousands of flowers to produce a small amount of spice. Every flower must be picked by hand, and every red thread must be carefully separated and dried. That makes saffron labor-intensive, rare, and valuable. The amazing thing is that saffron does not require huge land. It can be grown in small garden beds, raised beds, containers, or backyard plots if the climate is right. Saffron crocus prefers well-drained soil, dry summers, and cool winters. It does not like standing water, so drainage is extremely important. But the real business is not just growing saffron. The real business is quality and branding. Premium saffron can be sold in small glass jars, luxury spice packs, gift boxes, restaurant supply, or direct-to-consumer online stores. A tiny flower becomes a premium product.
The second tiny plant is real Japanese wasabi. Most people have never tasted real wasabi. The green paste served in many restaurants is often just horseradish, mustard, and food coloring. Real wasabi is rare, delicate, expensive, and difficult to grow. That is exactly why it can be profitable. Wasabi grows best in cool, shaded, moist conditions. It likes clean water, stable temperatures, and protection from harsh sunlight. In nature, it grows near mountain streams, which is why recreating its environment can be challenging. But difficult crops often have one advantage: fewer people grow them. Restaurants, sushi chefs, specialty food stores, and premium buyers may pay high prices for real wasabi because it is hard to find fresh and authentic. The valuable part is the rhizome, which is grated fresh before serving. Real wasabi has a complex flavor, sharp, fresh, slightly sweet, and much more refined than imitation wasabi. This crop is not for lazy growers. It requires patience, careful environment control, and attention to detail. Wasabi can take many months to mature, and the plant does not tolerate extreme heat or poor growing conditions. But for growers who can create the right setup, wasabi can become a premium niche crop.
The third tiny plant is radish microgreens.
If saffron is about rarity, microgreens are about speed. Radish microgreens can be grown in trays, on shelves, inside a small room, or even near a bright window. They do not need a traditional farm, and they can often be harvested in just 7 to 10 days. That is why microgreens are popular among small-space growers. Radish microgreens are spicy, colorful, crunchy, and attractive. Chefs use them to decorate plates. Salad makers use them for flavor, and health-focused customers like them because they look fresh and nutrient-rich. The business model is simple. Plant seeds, grow them quickly, harvest fresh, package cleanly, and deliver fast. But the profit comes from consistency. Restaurants do not want microgreens once. They want them every week. Cafes, salad bars, meal prep brands, and premium grocery stores need reliable supply. This is where a small grower can win. Instead of trying to grow everything, you can specialize in fresh radish microgreens and deliver high-quality trays or packaged boxes every week. The startup can be small compared to traditional farming. You need trays, seeds, growing medium, water, light, and a clean growing space. But cleanliness is very important. Microgreens must be grown in a hygienic environment because they are usually eaten fresh. The biggest advantage is cash flow.
The fourth tiny plant is vanilla orchid. Vanilla is one of the most loved flavors in the world, but many people do not realize it comes from an orchid. The vanilla orchid is a climbing tropical plant. It produces long green pods that eventually become vanilla beans after curing and drying. Vanilla can be valuable because growing and processing it is not simple. The plant needs a warm, humid environment, support to climb, and patience. It can take years before the plant starts producing flowers. And here is the most interesting part. In many places, vanilla flowers must be pollinated by hand. Each flower opens for a short time, and if it is not pollinated quickly, it will not produce a pod. That makes vanilla farming highly skilled and labor-intensive. But that is also why real vanilla beans can sell at premium prices. Vanilla is used in baking, desserts, perfumes, drinks, ice cream, cosmetics, and specialty food products. It is one of those crops where the demand is global. A small grower cannot compete with huge farms on volume, but they can compete on quality, story, and direct selling. Vanilla beans can be sold as whole beans, vanilla extract, vanilla sugar, gourmet baking kits, or premium gift products. This crop is not fast money. It is a long-term plant business. But for the right grower, vanilla orchids can become a serious, high-value crop, especially in warm climates or controlled greenhouse conditions. The fifth tiny plant category is edible flowers. These include plants like violas, nasturtiums, calendula, borage flowers, pansies, and other safe edible blooms. Edible flowers are not grown for bulk calories. They are grown for beauty. Chefs use them on salads, desserts, cakes, drinks, fine dining plates, wedding food, luxury catering, and premium bakery items. A small box of perfect edible flowers can be worth much more than people expect because the product is delicate, beautiful, and hard to transport. This is where small growers can have an advantage. If you are close to restaurants, bakeries, cafes, or event planners, you can provide fresh flowers quickly before they lose quality. Edible flowers can be grown in containers, raised beds, greenhouse benches, and small garden spaces. But there are two important rules. First, the flowers must be truly edible and correctly identified. Not every beautiful flower is safe to eat. Second, they must be grown without harmful sprays because they are used directly on food. This crop is all about appearance and freshness. Flowers must be clean, colorful, undamaged, and packed carefully. Presentation matters a lot. There are also value-added options: dried edible flowers, tea blends, cake decoration packs, herbal bath blends, and wedding garnish boxes. Edible flowers are tiny, but they create a luxury feeling.
The sixth tiny plant is lavender. Lavender is one of the best plants for growers who want more than one income stream. You can sell fresh lavender, dried lavender, lavender bundles, sachets, soaps, candles, essential oil, skincare products, herbal pillows, room sprays, and gift boxes. That means lavender is not just a plant, it is a brand. The plant itself is beautiful and fragrant. It grows well in sunny locations with well-drained soil and does not like sitting in wet ground. Once established, lavender can be fairly hardy in the right climate and can produce year after year. But the biggest money is usually not in selling raw flowers alone. The real value comes when lavender becomes a product. A bunch of lavender is worth one price, but that same lavender turned into dried bundles, oil, soap, or a premium gift set can be worth much more. This is why lavender works especially well for small farms, homesteads, and backyard growers who understand packaging and storytelling. Lavender also has strong visual appeal. A small lavender garden can create beautiful photos, social media content, farm visits, and workshop opportunities. People are not only buying the flower, they are buying the feeling. Calm, natural, clean, peaceful, and premium. For a small grower, lavender is powerful because it can be sold fresh in season and as dried or handmade products all year. That is what makes it different from many crops.
The seventh tiny plant is dwarf chili pepper. This is one of the most exciting small space crops because chili peppers can be grown in pots, balconies, small beds, greenhouses, or even indoor containers with enough light. Dwarf varieties stay compact but can still produce colorful, spicy, high-value peppers. The profit potential comes from variety and processing. Fresh chilies can be sold to customers, restaurants, and markets. But the real money can come from dried chili flakes, chili powder, chili oil, pickled chilies, fermented hot sauce, and bottled sauces. A single small plant can become part of a product line. Chili peppers also have strong branding power. People love spice. They love heat levels. They love unique names, colors, and flavors. A grower can create a small chili brand around rare varieties, local heat blends, or homemade hot sauces. This is where tiny plants become serious business. Instead of selling one small basket of chilies, you can turn them into bottles of sauce with labels, packaging, and repeat customers. Dwarf chilies are also great for content. The plants look beautiful when covered in red, orange, yellow, purple, or green peppers. They are easy to show on camera, which helps with marketing. But quality matters. Peppers need sunlight, proper watering, and protection from pests.
The eighth tiny plant category is specialty herbs. This includes Thai basil, dwarf basil, shiso, perilla, chives, garlic chives, French tarragon, cilantro, parsley, lemon balm, and peppermint. Herbs may look simple, but they can become very profitable when sold fresh, clean, and consistently. Restaurants and chefs often need herbs that are hard to find fresh in regular markets. They want strong aroma, good color, and reliable quality. That is where specialty herbs can win. A small grower can produce herbs in pots, trays, raised beds, greenhouse benches, or vertical systems. Some herbs can be harvested again and again if managed properly. That means one plant can keep producing for weeks or months. The business is not only selling raw herbs. Herbs can be turned into dried blends, teas, infused oils, herb salts, pesto, seasoning mixes, herbal bundles, and wellness-style products. For example, basil can become pesto, mint can become tea, chives can go to restaurants, lemon balm can become dried herbal blends, French tarragon can be sold to chefs who need premium flavor. The secret is not to grow random herbs. The secret is to choose herbs that buyers actually need and cannot easily find fresh. Talk to chefs, talk to cafes, talk to specialty grocery stores. See what they struggle to source. Then grow for demand, not just for fun.